Willkommen, Huanan, and welcome to SAF1 Esports. My name is Webbo, and I'm here on my own tonight to take you through this 11th round, penultimate round of our season. And we have some strong championship connotations in front of us. First things first, to apologise for my part in the shambles that was prematurely announcing the championship winner, Madtrav. It was confirmed after the race had not, in fact, done the required points haul, achieved the required points haul to become champion just yet. He currently lies 70 points ahead, 64 points ahead of Phantom. But that means with the point system as things are in SAF1, that Phantom needs no less than a second place finish to the full distance and for a DNF for Madtrav tonight. So Madtrav only needs to score a very small amount of points to become champion without any form of argument or post-race issue tonight. But should he have similar luck to we saw a few races ago in Jeddah, we will take this to the very wire, so long as Phantom can get himself right up there. And a second apology from all at SAF1. Looks like we are down to just 15 drivers. So the drivers will retire early from this Q1 session, as it's a little bit of a dead rubber. So we may see one lap performed by the drivers, just an installation lap, followed by a retirement from this session only, and we will get cracking straight on with the competitive Q2, as you would imagine. So Madtrav, as I say, leads the way by 64 points on 294 points from Phantom, with Dom Rabico on 181, Quentin on 155 in fourth place, Neil in fifth for 144, with Duckster on 136, Not Shumi on 110, and JR Designs just shy of 100 on 99 points after joining the league late. Everyone's coming out here in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for this qualifying session. And as for the constructors' points, it is a lot closer because Madtrav has accumulated all but, I think, 32 of the Mercedes points. So Mercedes on 328 points, with Ferrari, Phantom's team and Thiago Maestro on 297, followed by McLaren on 274, Red Bull on 262, and those are the guys with a realistic shout of taking the championship for the constructors. But I'm sure that whatever happens, we will take that to the wire next week. So the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on the traditional layout. Of course, no update forthcoming from Codemasters for the 2021 layout, which I would love to see, but we'll have to be patient. I'm sure that Abu Dhabi circuit will stay on the calendar for many years to come. And in terms of any updates from the previous week, we had a major incident involving Royal Viking, Matti, Zardi, Maestro and Top Dog, but the conclusion from the stewards was no further action necessary. So we like to let them race here at SAF1 Esports, and here come the drivers just to tackle their first laps. I think we've got that Phantom is the first driver out, so we'll ride with him. But like I say, just an installation lap really, this one. No one messing around too much in the pits. And what we hope for is having managed to get hold of the 15 of our championship contenders. We hopefully will get lots of them finishing. There appears to be some atmospheric or weather conditions affecting many of our South African drivers today, which could go some way to explain the current poor turnout. But 15 is not too bad a number to start a race anyway. So, and our my erstwhile commentary colleague Tim, unfortunately one of those victims, not of South African weather conditions, but unfortunately unable to take part in the final two races of this season for us. So Madtrav. Madtrav is on track, but currently his only championship challenger, Phantom, progressing through sector 1 and 2 safely. Now this somewhat Mickey Mouse section at the end of the circuit, heading in towards Latifi, the renamed turn 19 of 21 corners. Here's turn 20, slightly reprofiled, I believe, for the previous iteration, and then through the final corner, 1:35.626. His best time. Welcome to Boonties, who joins us and says hello. Boonties, who are you here to support? Anybody else watching along, do let us know who you're here to support. We always love to know who our most popular drivers are. We don't have fan boost, but if we did, then we need to know who's the most popular, of course. Quintin in the Red Bull has gone out on intermediate tyres for a little bit of fun. See how much he can keep those into the operating window. Always a good to have a little experiment. Thiago, Hamrick and Vino have not come out yet. We're looking for some successful laps out there for Hamrick. So a 1:51.6 is Quintin, 52.7 JR, and Simps on the 51.1. And there you'll see who is fastest on the slowest tyres. Haven't seen any retirements just yet. Matty out there. Hi to Ivan, who joins us. Ivan is a very loyal follower of mine on Twitter, and make sure you are following me and SAF1 Esports on Twitter for all of our output, and you'll be first to hear about any new season announcements. The links for that are at the top of the live chat, of course. So Matty just cruising around on the intermediate tyres, finishing off the lap. Thiago Mastro and Hamrick very slow to come out, but many drivers have made it back into the pits now. Hopefully within a minute or two everybody will have set those first laps. Vino needs a little bit of a hurry up, so if any of our drivers are listening in and connected with Vino, let's get him out on track. And indeed he's out there, he's gone out. Next up, Thiago for Ferrari. So Ferrari really trying to take the battle to Mercedes in this final part of the championship, just this race and the next one to go. So important for Phantom and Thiago to be significantly outscoring the combination of Madtrav and his teammate. However, his teammate not here today, so they only need to be concentrating really on Madtrav tonight. Ivan, yes, just to keep you updated, I think you were a little bit late. We because we only have 15 starters, we've just asked all the drivers to do an installation lap and quit out of Q1 so we can get on with the business end of Q2. Quintin upset that he's not even the fastest intermediate runner. Depends how hard you were pushing, I suppose. So rainbow mix of tyres. No one has gone for the wet tyres. Here comes Thiago then to the line, not giving anything away as regard his pace. The sun's starting to set here in qualifying. So Jesse tells me Imi Alonso is pronounced Emi Alonso. Okay, Emi. Emi Alonso. I will try and remember that. Thank you for the help. Any pronunciation help is always welcome. Until mostly the drivers, I will ask the drivers at the start of a season what they want me to call them, and almost all of them say whatever, it doesn't matter. but I do like to get it right, and you're very right to help me out with that. Emi Alonso then. Emi Alonso it is. Is that short for something? If you're in the know there, Jesse. So just Hamrick running around at the moment. I think Vino decided to just do a pure installation lap and come straight back into the pits. So he might be just waiting here for Hamrick to finish up. In he comes to the pits then, Hamrick. Will he press the button and let us get going? Nope. Not at the moment. He's going to wait so that he can get himself fully into the garage, and I think, where is it coming now? Let's do it. Let's do it, Hamrick. Press the button. So, looks like Matrav gave it a bit of a go out there. 35.5 from Phantom's 35.6. Let's see how that compares to their Q2 times, though of course they will almost certainly be running soft tyres. Although we see Matrav often go for that medium run. Remember, he only needs to finish the race today, and Phantom needs him to DNF and score a second place at least to keep the championship alive. Our Italian driver Phantom, or Italian representing driver I should say, still the only one within a shout of taking Matrav's potential title. So those are your results from Q1. No time set by Vino. I hope that doesn't force him into a disqualification from the session, or an elimination I should say. So let's see if all 15 drivers made it to Q2 despite that installation lap. Trucking Time says go Trav. I'm sure Mad Trav has picked up lots of fans. It looks like we lost two drivers, strangely enough, through Q1. So I don't pretend to understand that one. I've seen all manner of options come out from a full qualifying session from the drivers, so very strange. 13 out of the 15 drivers will take Q2, from which we will find the 10 fastest on the strategy they consider best to go for. Looks like Matrav is out there. In fact, he's gone out on his soft tyres. Now, Tim and I talked about this from the last race, and we're questioning the fact that he was still pushing and risking elimination when his championship was so tight on the line last time by running mediums in Q2. He may just run a soft option here, get two fast sectors and then lift. We often see that as well. So I wonder if he's sticking with his tried and tested tactics, or might be considering a change just to play it safe for tonight only. We were hoping to see him do some exhibition style races, which we might have to wait for next week if he secures the championship tonight. I don't think he's interested in the number of points he has. He's won the championship by. Level of domination. For one, I'm going to miss these black Mercedes after this this forthcoming season on the game. So we'll be switching back to the old silver arrows. Just find the black cars just look that little bit meaner, that little bit more noticeable on track. I find the particular shade of aluminium silver that Mercedes used to be quite invisible and unremarkable. But let's go qualifying with Madtrav. Down to 4th, into turn 1. Hanging on around the outside. You can tell the track yet to grip up properly. We go through turns 2, 3 and 4. And the heavy braking zone for turn 5. Uses lots of entry curb. Takes the car out wide for the straightest run through turn 7, the hairpin, and down on the throttle as quickly as possible. Then we have a long wait to make any adjustments to the car that you can to do with brake test or your strategy, your braking ratios. In we go to turn 8 and 9. Difficult to get a good clean line through here. All going swimmingly for Madtrav so far. Down towards the end of the second sector. And he's naturally purple after being the fastest so far. And his first attack lap. Towards the glowing hotel section. This is turn 17, difficult stop while turning. And then this is Latifi after the bridge. Heading towards then turn 20. Very close to an invalidation. Now listen. There he goes. Normal tactics from Madtrav. A nice slow final sector. What's Emi Alonso up to? I almost said it wrong. 135.914 is a nice time out there for Emi. Zardi, his teammate, just 1/10 slower. Goes 136.080 in P2. JR, usually a pretty quick driver out there, but unfortunately an invalidation in the Haas on this attempt. Phantom looking to set his first flyer here on medium tyres as Simps goes in and gets a 137.8. Hear the beep, that's for the DRS enablement. I don't think drivers really need that, but it's there nonetheless. Phantom, 58-second middle sector. Seesawing the wheel slightly on the way out of the corners, so these medium tyres not quite where he wants them, but very difficult to get them into full working range with a single warm-up lap. You might see drivers go for a charge lap and then a hot lap. Nice throttle pickup though through turn 20. Likewise turn 21 can really mash that throttle down. A 35.985 is a tremendous time on the medium tyres, so props up there to Phantom. He's got the bit between his teeth for this penultimate round of the championship. A reminder, Phantom must get at least second tonight with a DNF from Madtrav. So to the line then, 37.1 for his teammate Thiago is some distance away, and he's also got the better, faster tyre on, really underlining the pace that Phantom is showing currently. We will see. Can Hamrick get more than a lap or two strung together in a competitive session? It's been a real struggle the last few races for Hamrick. But Viking to the line then, P6, a 137.6. Big field spread so far. Really just 3 drivers absolutely on the pace. that is Emi, Phantom and Zardi. You would be expecting Madtrav to be up there after slowing significantly in the final straight of his lap on the soft tyres. He just puts that time in just to be safe, but I'm not sure it's competitive enough to be safe. He will push hard on the next run with medium tyres. Sometimes we've seen him just leave that a little bit too late. It'll be Hamrick out there first to try and set a time on the drivers on outlaps. Quintin is on an outlap as well, but here goes Hamrick to start his first flying lap on the soft tyres. Of course, the Williams car, the one different steering wheel and information screen dashboard setup. A lot of drivers don't like to race the Williams because they can't see their dash at all times. Some drivers like it because it's static, whereas on the steering wheel you're constantly moving your head to try and read the numbers. So it's very difficult to pick your braking zone for turn 8 and 9, and when they start to get competitive into turns 8 and 9, you can really lose out on traction going through there. Purple middle sector, of course, his first flyer for Hamrick. Tries to straight line the 11, 12, 13 complex as much as possible. That will be thankfully losing after this game is done. Here we go then to turn 17 and 18. Under the bridge of the hotel, as through Latifi safely. Will anybody lay claim to that corner barrier this year, this race? Hamrick then, car dialed in with good traction on the way out, and it's a 5th place, 36.497. Nice competitive time from Hamrick. We'll just check in with Dom Rabico, who has invalidated, unfortunately. Vino next to cross the line shortly, with lots of drivers out already. Vino, snap of oversteer on the way out. That shouldn't affect his final time too severely, and it is 37.1 for Vino. Quintin has gone at 37.1 as well, half a second faster than his previous time, but I think he's now on his mediums. 1.4 second improvement through sector 2 for Quintin. So clearly that first run on softs was nowhere near his main pace. It's a long lap on this track in terms of number of corners, number of loaded corner runs, and it can really lend itself toward the medium tyre for qualifying being actually better overall, because the soft tyre dies off very quickly. To the final corner then for Quintin. Where does this time see him as an improvement? It's up to a provisional pole, beating Emi, beating Zardi on the softs, beating Phantom on the mediums at 35.425, the fastest time we've seen so far. And congrats to Quintin there. JR, soft tyre option this time. Just slight delay picking up the throttle on the way out of the final corner, 36.892, a little surprising distance off pole at the moment for him. But let's join Madtrav, who's up on his time and straight into pole by 4/10 this time at 35.0. But he's not got it all his own way. You feel like Quintin might have designs on that pole position tonight. Dom Rabico, similar strategy to Quintin and Madtrav. McLaren still in the hunt for the championship. Very early throttle application almost before the apex, and it's a P3 for Dom Rabico. Again, medium tyres the way, and it's 1, 2, 3 Madtrav, Quintin and Rabico, followed by Emi, Phantom and Zardi, Viking, Hamrick, JR, Tiago, Vino, Simps, and we ride with Matty closing out his next attempt, as most of the drivers are on their way into the pits through this Q2 session. I imagine Thiago had an incident on track and retired. I don't think he would have been happy with a soft tyre run on 37.1. Only needs a driver to improve by a small amount to depose him, but Matty can only manage a 137.3 on this run on the mediums, so that will give Thiago a little bit of hope. Interesting to see Simps not come in the pits on this run, but there might just about be time. No, there is not enough time to go through again. He's going to run this back to back, these laps. He won't have time to go in the pits, change tyres, because you've got to drag the car into the garage and change tyres. Can't do a racing pit stop. So he's just going to go for it here. Purple first sector on the mediums. Hopefully well equipped with a new TV, or he's got an old small TV and he's brought it closer to his face. We know we've had some mechanical problems in the Simps household, so hopefully he's well equipped here. Matrav has decided that no one's going to come near him, and he's retired from this session there with the provisional fastest time and first choice medium tyres out there for his race. Simps hugging that track limit line, and another purple sector. So Simps well on this one. Is he taking too much out of those medium tyres, or is this the power of the warm-up lap? Born witness here with Simps just needs to keep everything hooked up, getting good stopping power into turn 17 through the Latifi corner, riding that wall very, very close indeed. Survives it, maybe slightly early on the turn in for turn 20. Turn 21 is smooth as you like. On the way out then, stay wide and go P2 35.256. And Matrav may not have this all his own way. Depends how hard he was pushing before, but looking good out there. Looks like Vino from P12. We'll try and focus on the drivers on the bubble here, and they of course will be Thiago, Vino and Matty. And Vino, a big slide early on the lap though. He may be able to recover, get round and start a new lap on this set of tyres. He won't have time to pit, but he won't get round, will he? He's got 46 seconds remaining. He's stopped by the side of the track. He knows he should keep running and get out of people's way. Unfortunately though, Vino will find himself eliminated. I fear that Matty will be exactly the same. I don't know even if JR's going to make it round. I think he'll just make it round. He wants to be in the mix in this penultimate race in the championship, pick himself up in the championship order as they close things out. I can't see the time on the session. JR has successfully crossed the line though. He will start this lap, and from 10th place Thiago has been eliminated, as has Matty. Vino might be able to pick things up, but I think we just saw him. There goes the checkered flag. So these are the laps then that count. I think we've got Viking, Hamrick and JR on laps. Bit too much mid-corner speed going through turn 6 there for JR. The one prior to the hairpin. We'll hit VMAX shortly before slamming on the brakes. Quite early on the brakes with these medium tyres. Can't lean on the fronts too much. That's all kinds of wrong over the curb. That's the thing you don't want to do, to suck away all your momentum going through the corner. Slightly too greedy on the curb, and we lose time immediately. JR is 2.5 tenths. He's just going to fully send this final lap, I think. Hamrick behind him. Can't see if he is positive on his Delta or Viking, in fact. Unfortunately, the game's not going to give me that information. Hamrick, currently P9, has been as high as 5th. There's the Latifi issue. Latifi corner, but gone wrong on the way out instead of on the way in. Yellow flag will remain at that sector of the racetrack. I know Emi has gone P2 Has he? Yes. Emi goes P2. Viking comes in, and that looks to be the end of our qualifying 2 session. And we will know our 10 drivers that will take the opportunity to position themselves on the grid for the final session. Remember, anybody finishing outside of the top 10 will already be able to put their top choice of tyres on. Tiago says thanks Codemasters, so clearly an issue for him to do with the game. And just waiting for everybody to retire out for us, and we will get going with Q3. So here's your finishing order. Matrav, top of the timing screens for that session. Emi in second place on medium tyres, on soft tyres, but everybody else around him on medium. Simps, Phantom, Quintin, Dom Rabico, Zardi, all within a second of Matrav's time. Royal Viking just outside that, and JR in 9th. The game has decided to eliminate Hamrick from 10th, so we will have 9 drivers take Q3 instead of 10. Very confusing, but Hamrick, Tiago, Vino and Matty will start in that order on free choice of tyres and have to sit out this next session here in Q3. So Q3, surprisingly enough, for me at least, we will only have 9 drivers. And we'll see who comes out the pits first. It will be a Red Bull, followed by a Ferrari, but they'll be the opposite way round on track. Matrav's pretty quick out there too. It's Phantom out first, just by virtue of the fact that his garage is further down the pit lane. So he and Quentin coming out fairly close together. Phantom having to fight this qualifying session alone, and in fact only Haas and Alfa Romeo have both drivers from their team in this final session. What are your predictions for pole? Who will come closest to Matrav? Should we say it like that? I'm not sure anyone has got it quite in the bag to fight with him. But still plenty of racing left to come. We always find something interesting to watch, don't you worry. Even if Matrav disappears and takes the championship tonight, we will still enjoy a race. I didn't survive the Schumacher years of F1 by only caring about the winner of any race. So absolutely care about all the stories throughout the grid, and it's been great to enjoy this season with SAF1. And like I say, if you want to hear it, the latest and first announcements of the following season and any further racing options to come with SAF1 Esports, do follow the channel on Twitter. You'll find the link at the top of the live chat, and also subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, of course, liking the video every time you watch. Here comes Phantom then to go for it. 4th gear through turn 1. Not quite the turn in he wanted, so he'll be picking suffering that lack of momentum all the way down here until he breaks down to turn 5. He also ducked out of the throttle through turn 3, which depending on setup you might be able to go flat. As dusk falls, we exit the turn 7 hairpin and go for it. Marcel says get in there Rabico, so Marcel and Dom Rabico has a fan at least joining us tonight. Phantom, nice turn into turn 8. Good management of the apex of turn 9, and DRS is open. Heading for a nice straight braking zone across the curb into the turn 11, 12 bit wide on the exit of 13. 14, he gathered the car back sufficiently. Now we wait to brake in as straight a line as possible into turn 17. 18, the hotel corner, followed by Latifi. Gentle, progressive throttle application through the exit of turn 19. Turn 20, blink and you miss it. And the final corner, turn 21. Rumbles over the rumble strip, and it's a 35.5. What about Matrav though, as the two championship contenders take turns to attack the lap? Matrav just wiggling round, and it's a 34.6. 34.6 for Matrav, as Quentin dips under the 34s as well. So definitely saving some very hot pace to the end. But again, Matrav without clear daylight between him and the second row. JR 35.7. This is obviously not one of JR's top qualifying tracks, but his race pace could well be very different indeed. Emi goes for the line, then P4 35.6. Viking 37.4. Very slow lap for Viking. Maybe he's warming up those tyres and getting the car dialed in. But Dom Rabico then, with Marcel watching along, he's somewhat offset on the strategy, probably going for 2 runs, but going just slightly away from everybody else on track. You wait an age to get on the throttle through turn 9, and Dom Rabico, more than most, had to wait there. Avoids Quentin, doesn't even try and get a little bit of a toe down into turn 11, 12, 13, and there goes an invalidation after purpling 2 sectors, getting the fastest time for himself through the first 2 sectors. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. We wait for Simps to come out and run his first lap, and Rabico, disgusted with himself, just scrubs the tyres off on the runoff area. 6.5 minutes to go in this final qualifying session to set the grid for our 50% race around Abu Dhabi, this 11th race of the season. Simps has still not come into the pits. Most surprising, but I'm sure we'll see Dom Rabico, well, just as I'm about to say it, Dom Rabico come into the pits. He's eased off and he's going to attack the next lap available, try and set a banker lap. But if this is his fastest lap of the session, his tyres will be 1 lap older than everybody else's, so far from ideal, suffering problem after problem. But he does want to get himself away from that P9 zone, because the drivers starting behind him would be on a better strategy. So if he can get some distance from those medium runners, or at least new soft runners, it will be all the better for him. The tyres won't be at their best, but they'll be good enough to run here. Guess the car stopped pretty well. Could have done with a little bit more apex through 8. But 9 was nicely run, and away then out through the long looping turn 10 on the approach to turn 11, waiting for that braking zone. Brakes very late down into the corner. A little bit of banking helping the car in. Unusual for this track. They when they designed this track, they believed in off-camber corners being the way to encourage mistakes. Through turn 18, through the Latifi corner. We've seen one driver make a mistake through there already tonight. No such problem for Dom Rabico this time. He's got some hot pace in this car. Whether he's quite got what it takes to challenge at the front, well, he's good enough for P3. So nice time from Dom Rabico. Should hopefully just about have enough time to get round. And you saw briefly, Quentin and Matrav coming out of the pits underneath the track with their gamer tags, which is a unique feature of this this Grand Prix location, the underground pit exit. How Simps kept the lap alive there, running so close on the white line, I'll never know. But very well judged, as he gets purple's first sector for himself, of course. Short shifts on the way out, he'll just piling the pressure on himself here for 1 run, whether it be a single lap run or a double lap run. Only he will know the intention, but he's got the option of running again, of course, if this lap goes wrong or it's less than ideal. But his best shot at a good time is right here. Too much mid-corner curb there. Hit the sausage curb, bounced the car across turn 9. So there's time to be gained through there at least. Won't get too excited about the purple sector because it's his first time lap. He's got a slight distraction of a car ahead of him on track. Dealt with okay because he got off the racing line. It was Quentin. Car being stopped in a straight line for turn 17 there. Turn 18, that was all kinds of scrappy, but he survived, kept the lap alive. I think he'll probably go again though, Simps, because this has had some problems this lap. So currently 9th with no time set. Can he beat Viking at least? To the line then for Simps. He goes pole! That was really scrappy, and you hardly ever see a driver go scrappy and still go quickly. But wow, fantastic stuff from Simps. And I think he even went off track in excitement. So he doesn't think he's going to go any faster than that. I know there were moments on the lap that didn't look perfect, but grabbing pole from nowhere goes Simps. Quentin well within range of challenging his existing lap, and Matrav is out for his out lap. But Quentin trying to get a clear run here. Matrav might have the chance at a tow at some point, but he'll probably have more traffic. Quentin then down into turn 8. Just perfect through turn 9. Track position at least. I can't really tell you about mid-corner speed. I don't have that kind of information. Down we go then. Turn 11, 12, 13. Come at you very quickly. Gentle application of the throttle in 4th gear on the way out of turn 14. It's green lights all the way for Quentin. But is it good enough to tackle Simp's time? He needs 4/10 faster than he's been before with all the pressure on. One more corner to go. 4th gear on the way out. To the line then, Quentin. It's almost there. It's very, very close, but it's not quite the 4/10 he needed. He is down in 2nd place with Matrav starting his final attempts now. Dom Rabico out there for an out lap. I wonder if he'll get around. We've got Phantom likewise already on his lap, as Matrav is 1/100th faster than he's been before. He needs just over a tenth to take the pole position. And while he goes on a straight long line, we'll watch Phantom as he starts his next flyer. So Matrav, let's see where Phantom gets himself in the 1st sector from P5. Phantom, it's not particularly special, so we'll go back to Matrav. Get an update as he approaches this next turn 11 here under the grandstand towards the drag strip, and it's 2.5 faster. He's got enough in the bag now. Clatters the curb aggressively through the chicane. It's safely out of turn 14. 15 and 16 are the effective braking zones for turn 17. Good traction, good braking performance. Short shift pickup through Latifi corner. 2 to go now for Matrav as he bids for another pole position here. We know he's got best choice of tyres for this final one. Can he get the throttle down? It's messy on the way out, but he just gets pole. 34, well, I say just gets pole. With that step out of throttle, he still clears it by 4 and a bit tenths of a second. Legendary speed from Matrav. Simp sitting in the hot seat was expecting to secure that one. And what about Phantom? Can he get himself up into the bigger points paying positions? No. Just P4 for Phantom, a 34.679. Dom Rabico, we've got Zardi finishing off a lap with Dom Rabico just ahead on track. Although I think possibly Zardi might be on his way in. Dom Rabico then. Away to the line. Yellow flags flying, but Dom Rabico secures 6th place start as long as Royal Viking can't do any better. And he will not be doing any better from there. So Matrav it is with the pole position, 34.120 from Simps. In 2nd place, we have Quentin in 3rd, Phantom in 4th place, with a remote chance at keeping the championship alive. He needs no less than a 2nd place finish and a DNF from Matrav. Then Emi, Don Rabico, Zardi, JR in 8th, way out of his normal position, so hoping for a better race run, and Royal Viking will start a 9th position. All these drivers on their tyres they set in the previous corner. And Tiago enjoyed that final lap from Matrav. Don't go anywhere, I will be right back with you on audio. You are back with Webbo. Unfortunately, I have to announce we have a lobby restart coming, so please head back if the stream fails, and it almost certainly will. Please head back to the SAF1 Esports main channel, hit refresh every few seconds, and you'll get back in time for our formation lap. I will do my best to keep the stream alive, but it's unlikely. Just waiting for drivers to exit the session, of course. There we go. First of the drivers leaving the session, and away goes everybody. So I will wait for the invite, and I will try to skip across. So I'll go to a driver who is unlikely to do anything too silly, being under AI control. Apologies for this technical issue. We do have, as I mentioned before, some meteorological issues in South Africa affecting the host's connection to the server, among other people's inability to take part tonight. Hopefully everybody will be getting the message and get the point now as more and more drivers retire from the session. If the stream fails, as I say, go back to the home page, please. There goes the pit entry bollard. Go back to the SAF1 YouTube channel and hit refresh until the new live stream appears.